Sometimes, the quietest moments carry the heaviest weight. You could be sitting in a room full of sound and movement, yet your mind lingers on an emptiness you can't quite explain. There's a subtle pull, almost imperceptible, that makes you pause, that makes you notice a thought, a memory, or even a sensation that seems out of place yet strangely precise. That pull is not random. It is your soulmate trying to reach you in a way that bypasses distraction and lands directly in the heart. The message they left for this exact moment is not just a collection of words, it is a vibration, a careful alignment of energy meant to meet you right where you are, when you are ready, and when you can truly receive it. It's not unusual to feel a rush of questions the instant you sense this energy. Why now? Why this message? How could they know? And yet, in the midst of uncertainty, there is an undeniable truth: timing in life and in love is rarely accidental. The universe, in its quiet orchestration, often delivers what is meant for you when it will have the most impact. That message your soulmate left is no different. It is intentional, crafted by their awareness, shaped by their reflection, and released at a moment when you can absorb it fully, when you are prepared to see and feel what has been waiting in the shadows of your heart. Perhaps you remember the way things used to be. The laughter, the silences that spoke volumes, the shared understanding that never required words. You might recall moments of absence too, the unspoken regrets, the missed connections, the lingering what-ifs. That history, in all its richness and pain, has shaped you. It has sharpened your intuition, strengthened your resilience, and prepared you to receive this moment with clarity. This message, though it may echo the past, is not trapped in it. It is a bridge between what was and what can now be acknowledged and understood. You may feel a tension in your chest, a mix of anticipation and hesitation, because messages from the heart always demand attention. They are not casual, they are deliberate. Every word, every pause, every choice of phrasing carries weight. Your soulmate is not sending something trivial. They are communicating something they have held close, something they have thought through, something they want you to encounter fully and without distraction. That's why your presence matters now more than ever. To read or hear this message casually would be to miss the resonance it is meant to create. And in that presence, in that stillness, you begin to feel the texture of what they left behind. It is a combination of vulnerability and courage, of recognition and reflection, of honesty and longing. They are speaking to more than just your mind, they are reaching for your heart, for the part of you that has been waiting to be seen, to be understood, to be acknowledged. You sense, even before reading or hearing a single word, that the message is not about explanation or justification. It is about alignment, about consciousness, about revealing what has been hidden in plain sight and what has been too long unspoken. This message also carries the energy of accountability. It is not about blame or guilt, but about awareness. Your soulmate has taken the time to understand their part in the distance, in the misunderstandings, in the moments that went unacknowledged. They have reflected on their choices, their silences, their actions, and now they are ready to communicate with intention. That willingness to show up authentically is rare and significant. It is the kind of effort that speaks louder than anything dramatic ever could. As you immerse yourself in this awareness, you notice your own reactions shifting. You are no longer the person who would have read such a message and immediately felt the weight of expectation, of yearning, of unresolved longing. You are grounded. You are capable of receiving what is coming with discernment, presence, and clarity. Your heart and mind are aligned in a way that allows the message to land exactly where it is meant to, allowing understanding, healing, and acknowledgement to begin in their proper measure. You may feel a subtle pulse of emotion, a quiet swell of hope, a faint tremor of relief, or a gentle recognition of what was always true beneath the surface. That emotion is not accidental. It is the natural response to authenticity, to courage, and to intentional presence. The message was designed to evoke exactly this, to meet you in the part of yourself that has been prepared, to touch the spaces that are ready to be seen, and to remind you that connection, even when it has felt interrupted, can be acknowledged fully and consciously now. And in that recognition, you understand a profound truth: messages meant for you are not always about words. They are about energy, timing, and awareness. Your soulmate left this message not merely to communicate but to create a space where reflection, presence, and engagement are possible. It is an invitation, gentle yet insistent, to participate consciously in what is unfolding, to observe without projection, and to honor both their effort and your readiness. This is why the moment matters. It is not about rushing, responding, or reliving the past. It is about sitting in stillness, absorbing the intention behind the message, and allowing it to resonate fully. It is about recognizing courage where it exists, acknowledging growth where it has occurred, and witnessing truth without being compelled to fix, explain, or manipulate. Here, in this quiet awareness, you sense the intersection of their presence and your own readiness. That is the magic of the message. It does not demand, it does not coerce, it simply meets you where you are. And in that meeting, something shifts. The energy of effort aligns with the clarity of reception. Past pain softens. Understanding deepens. Recognition of what is authentic and true emerges with a subtle but undeniable force. And as you allow yourself to sit in that resonance, you realize that the message is more than communication. It is a call, a recognition, and a beginning. It is a bridge that honors history without being trapped by it, that acknowledges absence without needing to erase it, and that creates space for the truth to emerge in its own time. That is the gift your soulmate has left for you, a moment designed for presence, reflection, and awareness. There's a peculiar quiet that follows the moments when life seems to press its weight on your chest, not in pain, but in anticipation. You can feel it as a subtle shift in the air around you, in the way your attention stretches toward a thought, a feeling, or an instinct you cannot fully name. That is the kind of awareness that signals someone is reaching for you, not through force, not through urgency, but through the delicate, persistent effort that carries both intention and truth. Your soulmate's message has arrived in this precise moment because the universe has aligned it with your readiness, your growth, and your ability to receive it without distortion or resistance. It may begin as a quiet curiosity, the kind that creeps into your awareness before you realize it. Perhaps you notice your mind circling the idea of them, the memory of a shared smile, or a moment that once felt fleeting but now lingers in your consciousness. That curiosity is not idle. It is a nudge, a reminder that something important is approaching you, not as a test, but as an opportunity to witness, reflect, and engage. You realize instinctively that this is not about nostalgia or longing, it is about clarity, about presence, about something that requires the full alignment of your attention with what is real. Messages from the heart, when delivered at the right moment, carry a resonance that cannot be manufactured. You may feel it before you even read the words, before you even hear the tone, before you even understand their meaning. It is a vibration, a subtle energy that brushes against your awareness and insists that you stop, listen, and notice. Your soulmate's message is not random, it has been shaped by reflection, by courage, and by a desire to meet you where you are, rather than where they hoped you might be. That intentionality is what gives it power. You may find yourself revisiting fragments of the past as you prepare to encounter the message. Moments of connection, moments of absence, moments of quiet understanding, and moments of confusion all arise. Yet, instead of being trapped in them, you notice how differently you perceive them now. You are no longer the person who reacted impulsively to silence or uncertainty. You are grounded. You are aware. You have learned to witness, to discern, and to honor presence without immediately seeking closure, validation, or reassurance. That growth transforms the way you experience this moment, allowing the message to land fully and authentically. The effort your soulmate has made is palpable, even in its subtlety. It exists in the timing of delivery, the careful selection of words, the hesitations and pauses that indicate reflection. It is not performative, not meant to manipulate, and not aimed at reclaiming attention. It is genuine, deliberate, and deeply human. You can sense it in the way the energy of the message resonates with your own awareness, creating a bridge that goes beyond the superficial, touching the part of you that has been waiting to be seen, acknowledged, and understood. You may feel a mixture of anticipation and calm as you engage with it. That is because the message carries layers. Not just of intent, but of accountability. It is not about rewriting the past, erasing mistakes, or assigning blame. It is about acknowledgement, recognition, and the willingness to face what has been left unspoken. Your soulmate is taking responsibility in the quietest, most profound way, by showing up, by being deliberate, and by allowing the message to reach you without expectation. That courage mirrors your own growth and sets the stage for a meaningful encounter. Reading or hearing the message, you notice the texture of emotion behind it. There is humility, reflection, and honesty. There is courage to confront absence, to confront impact, and to confront themselves. There is a desire not to force reconciliation or understanding, but to communicate clearly and sincerely, trusting that your presence will receive it without distortion. That is a rare kind of communication, and one that requires both parties to be present, conscious, and grounded. Your reaction to this effort is equally significant. You are not compelled to respond immediately, to fill in gaps, or to chase outcomes. Instead, you observe, reflect, and integrate. You notice your own feelings, the way your heart resonates with honesty, and the clarity with which you can discern authenticity. That ability to witness without reaction, to receive without projection, and to hold space without interference transforms the dynamic. It elevates the message from a simple gesture to a profound meeting of consciousness. You may feel waves of recognition, subtle, steady, and undeniable. Recognition of growth, recognition of accountability, recognition of what has always been present beneath the surface. That recognition is not about attachment or expectation. It is about clarity, presence, and understanding. It allows you to engage with the essence of the message, to grasp the intention, and to respond with awareness rather than compulsion. In this space, the ordinary transforms. A simple set of words becomes an echo of effort and intention. A pause becomes a reflection of courage and vulnerability. A thought becomes a mirror of shared consciousness, bridging the past with the present. You realize that the message was not merely delivered. It was orchestrated, designed, and aligned to meet you at a moment when your readiness, your discernment, and your emotional maturity could fully receive it. And as you sit with this awareness, a subtle shift occurs. The past is no longer a weight. Absence is no longer confusion. Silence is no longer emptiness. What remains is presence, clarity, and an invitation to engage consciously, fully, and authentically. This is the rare space where intention and readiness intersect. A space in which connection can be acknowledged, understood, and felt without projection, expectation, or fear. Your soulmate's message, at its core, is a reflection of truth. It is an act of courage, a demonstration of accountability, and a gesture of alignment. Your ability to receive it fully, consciously, and with presence is a reflection of your growth, your discernment, and your strength. Together, these intersecting energies create a profound moment. One that is not about closure, not about demands, but about awareness, acknowledgement, and authentic connection. And as the resonance of the message settles into your consciousness, you realize something simple yet transformative. What was always meant to reach you has arrived, not to demand a response, not to manipulate the heart, but to illuminate, align, and awaken. It is a moment of presence, a meeting of intent, and an invitation to engage with truth. And in that space, everything becomes clear. There is a peculiar weight to the moment when you realize someone has tried to reach you, not out of obligation, not out of habit, but out of deep, considered intention. It is the kind of weight that lands softly yet unmistakably on the heart, stirring a mix of curiosity, awareness, and quiet anticipation. It is not dramatic. It is not flashy. It is subtle, precise, and profound. The type of presence that cannot be ignored because it resonates with something deep inside you, something you have cultivated over time, patience, discernment, and the ability to feel without being consumed. Your soulmate's message exists in this moment for a reason, and part of the magic is that you are ready to receive it fully, with clarity and consciousness, without the interference of old habits, projections, or fears. You might notice a flutter of memory first. The way they once made you feel understood, seen, and cherished, even when words failed. Perhaps a specific moment returns to mind, small yet luminous, like a candle flickering in a dark room. That memory is not accidental, it is a reminder of the bond, the history, and the energy that continues to exist, even across time and distance. You feel it quietly at first, but as your awareness deepens, you realize it is more than nostalgia. It is an invitation to witness intention, to honor effort, and to engage with presence in a way that is entirely grounded and conscious. Your soulmate's effort is layered. It is visible in the timing of their reach, the thoughtfulness behind their phrasing, and the subtle patience that accompanies it. They are speaking to more than your mind, they are speaking to your heart, your intuition, the part of you that recognizes authenticity instinctively. Their message carries accountability. Not as a demand for forgiveness or attention, but as an acknowledgement of their own growth, awareness, and reflection. It is an offering, one that can only be fully received when you bring yourself into the space of quiet observation and discernment. As you absorb this, you realize how much the passage of time has prepared you for this moment. Past silences, misunderstandings, and unspoken emotions have sharpened your ability to see clearly. You are no longer the person who felt desperate for answers or validation. You are grounded, capable of holding space for another's vulnerability while remaining anchored in your own truth. That alignment allows the message to land fully, to resonate deeply, and to offer clarity rather than confusion. What strikes you most is the subtle courage embedded in their effort. It is not loud, it is not performative, and it is not meant to impress. It is simply a demonstration of willingness. The willingness to confront past choices, acknowledge impact, and move forward with intention. That courage mirrors your own in a quiet but profound way. Both of you are navigating the delicate terrain of human connection, meeting in a space where honesty, presence, and reflection converge. You notice your own emotions stirring, perhaps a blend of curiosity, cautious hope, and gentle recognition. Those emotions are natural, but they do not dictate your response. You observe them without judgment, allowing yourself to feel while remaining fully aware of your own boundaries and readiness. That awareness transforms the interaction from a simple exchange of words into something far richer, a meeting of conscious presences, a subtle alignment of effort and attention, a shared acknowledgement of growth and accountability. Reading or hearing their message, you perceive the depth behind every word. There is recognition of past absence, an admission of mistakes, and an acknowledgement of the ways in which their actions affected you. But it is not heavy with guilt or manipulation. It is lightened by intention and presence. The truth within it resonates because it reflects effort and awareness, not obligation or performance. You sense that they are speaking to your capacity to witness, to honor, and to engage with clarity, rather than demanding a reaction or resolution. This moment carries a quiet lesson: connection is not about rushing, correcting, or filling gaps. It is about presence. It is about witnessing effort, acknowledging authenticity, and engaging consciously. Your soulmate's message exemplifies this principle. It demonstrates that sincerity, accountability, and deliberate communication carry far more weight than dramatic gestures or superficial displays ever could. And you, in turn, contribute to the authenticity of this moment simply by being present, by observing without projection, and by allowing the energy of intention to unfold naturally. As the message settles, you notice a subtle shift within yourself. Past hurts, unanswered questions, and lingering uncertainties begin to soften. That softening is not about forgetting or excusing, it is about the power of acknowledgement and the clarity of presence. The effort they made, combined with your readiness to receive it consciously, creates a space in which understanding can arise, without rush, without expectation, and without distortion. You may sense the energy of reflection radiating from them, even in silence or in the pauses between words. That reflection is a mirror, showing both of you how far you have come. They have confronted themselves, their choices, and the impact of their absence. You have cultivated awareness, discernment, and the ability to receive their message without losing yourself in it. That mirrored growth is what transforms simple communication into something profoundly meaningful. It is in this subtle interplay of effort and presence that the essence of connection reveals itself. You realize that their message was not just words, it is the manifestation of intention, awareness, and alignment. And your ability to receive it fully is equally vital. Together, these converging forces create a moment that transcends ordinary communication, one that is defined by honesty, presence, and the willingness to engage consciously. The message is more than a gesture, it is a bridge. It connects the past with the present, effort with awareness, and accountability with understanding. It reminds you that the heart can communicate in ways the mind cannot fully grasp, and that timing, intention, and presence are more important than perfection, closure, or immediate resolution. And as you absorb all of this, a quiet certainty settles in: what is authentic, what is deliberate, and what is true will always resonate. It will always be received fully by the heart that is ready, grounded, and present. The message has arrived. You are ready. And in that readiness, something profound begins to unfold, a meeting of consciousness that will carry far beyond the words themselves, lingering in presence, awareness, and understanding long after the moment has passed. There's a strange stillness that comes before a moment that demands your full attention, not the kind that alarms, but the kind that gently nudges you to pause, to breathe, and to notice. You feel it in the subtle tightening of your chest, in the quiet sharpening of your senses, in the almost imperceptible pull toward awareness. That is the energy of a message that has been waiting for this precise moment, a message your soulmate left not in haste or confusion, but in careful reflection, shaped by thought, intention, and a quiet desire to meet you where you are. It is not an ordinary note, text, or phrase. It is a culmination of awareness and vulnerability, meant to bridge the distance between past and present with honesty and heart. You may start to recall fragments of the past, the times when you laughed together without needing explanation, the moments of silence that felt as meaningful as words, the times when absence was as loud as presence. Those memories are not random, they are the echoes of shared consciousness, of a bond that persists even when circumstances have shifted. And yet, this moment is not about nostalgia. It is about alignment, about being here, fully present, to engage with the depth and intention of what your soulmate has left for you. They are speaking not merely to your mind, but to your awareness, your heart, and the part of you that has been waiting to witness truth without distortion or expectation. The first thing you notice when you engage with the message is its texture, soft yet firm, vulnerable yet deliberate. Every word, every pause, every nuance carries weight. There is humility in it, a willingness to admit absence and mistakes, and a desire to communicate in a way that honors your presence rather than attempting to manipulate or sway it. That is the signature of authenticity. Your soulmate is not demanding a reaction or forcing closure, they are offering awareness and truth, and inviting you to meet it consciously. You might feel a subtle swell of emotion. The quiet surge of hope, the faint ache of recognition, the warmth of validation. These feelings are not accidental, they are the natural response to authenticity and intention. Messages like these are meant to touch the part of you that has evolved, that has learned patience, discernment, and the capacity to witness without needing to fix, judge, or chase outcomes. You realize, in this soft unfolding, that this message is a mirror, reflecting not only their growth but your own. You see, perhaps for the first time, how far both of you have come in understanding presence, accountability, and honesty. The courage behind their effort is subtle but unmistakable. It is not bold, flashy, or performative. It is quiet, careful, and deliberate. They have reflected on their choices, their silences, and their impact. They have chosen to communicate not out of obligation, not out of fear, but out of an awareness that connection requires presence, honesty, and acknowledgement. That is no small feat, and your capacity to receive it fully, without distortion or projection, transforms this message from a simple act of communication into a profound meeting of consciousness. As you continue to engage with it, the layers of meaning unfold. There is acknowledgement of absence, an admission of past missteps, and a subtle recognition of what has been left unspoken. But it is not heavy with guilt or shame, it is lightened by intention and reflection. They are speaking to you in a way that trusts you to understand the nuance, to perceive the effort, and to witness the courage behind the words. In that trust lies the profundity of the moment. It is a call to presence, not a demand for reaction. You notice your own awareness shifting. You are not compelled to rush, to respond, or to reconstruct the past. You are grounded, capable of holding space, and aware enough to perceive the subtleties that make this communication extraordinary. This balance, between receiving with openness and maintaining your own boundaries, is what allows the message to resonate fully. It transforms a simple exchange into an experience that touches the heart, the mind, and the deeper layers of consciousness. The message carries a gentle but undeniable accountability. It is not about blame or apology alone, it is about understanding, recognizing, and acknowledging impact. Your soulmate has taken the time to confront their choices and actions, and to communicate them deliberately, trusting that your presence will receive them consciously. That trust, when met with your grounded awareness, creates a space where clarity and recognition can emerge naturally, without coercion or expectation. As you sit with this awareness, you may feel the past softening, not erased, not excused, but reframed. Absences and misunderstandings lose their sharpness as the intention behind the message settles in. You recognize that the effort your soulmate made to reach you at this moment carries more meaning than any dramatic gesture could. Their words, pauses, and timing all reflect reflection, growth, and sincerity. You can see, in the subtlest details, that connection is about presence and authenticity, not perfection or immediate resolution. This realization allows a subtle shift in your own energy. You feel steadiness, a quiet confidence in your capacity to witness and receive fully. You understand that the message is not meant to provoke, not meant to fill gaps, but to create a bridge between intention and awareness, between past choices and present consciousness, and between accountability and understanding. That bridge exists in the quiet space of shared presence, not in words alone. You notice, too, that this message is not just about them, it is about you. It calls forth your discernment, your awareness, and your capacity to engage without projection or expectation. It encourages you to meet them as they are, while remaining fully aligned with who you are. In this intersection lies the true power of the communication, a conscious, grounded, and emotionally authentic exchange that transcends the superficial, touching the essence of both hearts. The deeper you sink into this awareness, the more you perceive how deliberate this message is. It was designed to arrive when your readiness, your clarity, and your emotional maturity could fully receive it. That timing, coupled with intention, creates a rare and profound resonance. You feel a quiet acknowledgement of both your growth and theirs, the patience, reflection, and courage that have brought this moment into being. And as the final echoes of the message settle in, you realize something transformative. This is not about what was lost, what was delayed, or what was unspoken. It is about what is present now, the meeting of consciousness, the acknowledgement of effort, and the conscious reception of truth. Your soulmate's message was not merely meant to communicate, it was meant to illuminate, align, and awaken. And in that illumination, you find clarity, presence, and the subtle but undeniable assurance that what is authentic will always be witnessed, respected, and understood. There's a quiet urgency that arrives in your chest, not one that shouts or panics, but one that nudges you to lean inward, to pay attention, and to notice the subtle shift in awareness. You might be going about your day, carrying tasks, responsibilities, and distractions, when suddenly you feel it, a pull, almost imperceptible, that says, "This moment matters." That pull is not random. It is the energy of your soulmate's message, waiting for you with intention, vulnerability, and a quiet insistence that you witness it fully. They are not seeking to overwhelm you, to demand immediate reaction, or to rewrite history. They are simply offering a bridge between what has been left unsaid and the clarity that is ready to emerge now. It begins as a sensation, almost like a memory brushing the edges of your mind. The echo of laughter, the faint shadow of a shared glance, the way silence between you once carried more meaning than words could hold. Those recollections are not accidental, they are threads connecting your present awareness to what has always existed beneath the surface. They remind you that connection, even when disrupted or delayed, maintains its subtle presence, waiting for the moment when both parties are aligned enough to perceive it clearly. This is that moment. You notice, as you begin to engage with the message, that it is layered with intention. It is not simply a recounting of events or an explanation of absence. It is a reflection of awareness, accountability, and a desire to communicate in a way that is conscious and respectful. The words chosen, the pauses left, the tone implied, all of it is deliberate. They are speaking to the part of you that has evolved, that has cultivated discernment, patience, and emotional maturity, and that can receive the message without needing to react impulsively or fill in gaps with projection. There is courage behind this effort, a courage that is quiet, unassuming, and deeply human. It is easy to mistake silence or absence for indifference, but when someone takes the time to communicate with intention, it is a reflection of their reflection, their self-awareness, and their willingness to face their own choices. Your soulmate has done this not to seek forgiveness or validation, but to align their actions with consciousness, to offer clarity, and to meet you where you are. That alignment is the essence of authenticity. As the message unfolds, you feel a subtle emotional rhythm. There is recognition of past absence, acknowledgement of mistakes, and reflection on the ways their choices may have impacted you. But this is not delivered with guilt or pressure. It is delivered with awareness, humility, and trust that you are present enough to receive it as intended. You sense, even before fully grasping the words, that this communication is not about control, manipulation, or reclaiming attention. It is about presence, honesty, and the meeting of conscious hearts. Your own awareness begins to deepen as you engage. You notice the way your chest rises and falls with subtle recognition, the small tension in your shoulders loosening as understanding begins to settle, the gentle stirring of emotions that are complex, nuanced, and real. These feelings are not chaotic, they are the natural response to authenticity, to intention, and to care. You are witnessing effort being offered without demand, and in doing so, your heart responds with clarity, reflection, and even gratitude. The message also carries a lesson, not just about them, but about you. It asks you to engage with discernment, to notice presence without projection, and to honor the energy behind the communication without attempting to control its outcome. Your soulmate is offering an opportunity for acknowledgement, alignment, and understanding. They are giving you a mirror, showing the intersection of effort, awareness, and intention, and inviting you to participate consciously. That invitation is powerful because it does not demand anything from you but presence, reflection, and honesty with yourself. There is a subtle yet undeniable energy in the pauses, the phrasing, and the moments of quiet embedded in the message. They are deliberate. They are spaces that allow you to breathe, reflect, and process. They are not empty or meaningless. They are carefully crafted to meet you in your current state of readiness, to allow you to absorb without distraction, and to create a resonance that goes beyond mere words. This is why timing matters. The message arrives now because your consciousness, your emotional maturity, and your ability to engage fully are aligned with its delivery. As you continue to immerse yourself in the energy of the message, you notice a quiet acknowledgement forming within. The past, with all its uncertainties, misunderstandings, and absences, begins to soften. Not because it is erased or excused, but because it is being witnessed consciously, with presence, clarity, and awareness. You begin to perceive that the message is a reflection of both effort and trust, a trust that you can receive it fully, without distortion, judgment, or unnecessary expectation. And in that acknowledgement, a transformation occurs. The energy between you and your soulmate shifts subtly but profoundly. What was once burdened by absence or uncertainty now carries the resonance of effort, authenticity, and alignment. You feel the presence of their intention not as a demand, but as a reminder that connection is more than moments, it is awareness, it is accountability, and it is deliberate presence. The message teaches something essential about love, about connection, and about human consciousness. It is not about perfection, about immediate reconciliation, or about erasing past mistakes. It is about awareness, presence, and the capacity to witness effort authentically. It is about holding space for growth, reflection, and alignment without allowing projection or expectation to cloud perception. And in your ability to receive it fully, you participate in the authenticity of the moment, reinforcing the delicate balance between effort and awareness, vulnerability and presence. You may feel waves of recognition, subtle yet undeniable. Recognition of effort, recognition of growth, recognition of what has been present all along yet unacknowledged. That recognition is not about attachment or yearning, it is about clarity, conscious witnessing, and engagement with truth. You sense that the message is not only about their awareness but also about your ability to hold presence, reflect deeply, and honor authenticity without seeking control or outcome. This delicate interplay, the offering of effort and the reception of conscious presence, creates a space that is rare, profound, and transformative. It is not found in hurried exchanges, dramatic gestures, or fleeting apologies. It exists in moments like this, where vulnerability, awareness, and authenticity converge. It is here, in this quiet yet potent resonance, that connection transcends simple communication and becomes something far more meaningful. A meeting of consciousness that honors both past and present, effort and awareness, intention and readiness. And as you allow this understanding to settle, you realize a subtle but undeniable truth: the message was never just about words. It was about timing, presence, and alignment. It was about courage, reflection, and conscious engagement. And it was about you, your ability to witness, to receive, and to participate authentically in a moment that transcends ordinary communication. In that awareness, clarity emerges, and the resonance of effort and truth carries forward, lingering in presence, understanding, and conscious acknowledgement long after the message itself has been received. There's a stillness that greets you when you least expect it, a pause in the rhythm of life that makes the ordinary feel almost sacred. It doesn't announce itself loudly, it doesn't demand attention, but you feel it in the subtle tension between your thoughts, the gentle tightening in your chest, or the way your awareness stretches towards something unnamed. That is the kind of quiet that precedes a truth meant to reach you, a message that has been waiting for the exact moment when your consciousness can fully receive it. Your soulmate's words are not simply arriving, they are arriving in harmony with your readiness, your growth, and the depth of your ability to engage with presence, clarity, and discernment. You may first notice it as a flicker of recognition, a subtle memory of a time when their presence felt effortless, when their gaze or touch communicated volumes without a single word. Perhaps it is a shared laugh, a conversation cut short, or a quiet moment that once seemed fleeting but now lingers in your mind with a new clarity. That memory is not coincidental. It is the echo of a bond that has been quietly persistent, waiting for this moment to reconnect, not in the way of nostalgia or longing, but in the precise alignment of timing, awareness, and intention. When you engage with the message, you immediately sense its texture. It is deliberate, considered, and infused with quiet courage. Every word, every pause, every nuance has been shaped to meet you where you are. Not where they hoped you might be, not where circumstance demanded, but where your awareness, presence, and emotional maturity can fully receive it. There is no performance here, no manipulation, no attempt to elicit a reaction. What you feel, deep in your chest and in the subtle rhythms of your body, is authenticity, the willingness to be present, to confront absence, and to communicate from a place of reflection rather than impulse. As you absorb the message, a complex yet gentle wave of emotions rises. There is curiosity, recognition, subtle anticipation, and a quiet awe at the care behind every line. You are not compelled to respond immediately. You are not asked to forgive, to reconcile, or to revisit the past hastily. Instead, you are invited to witness, to reflect, and to meet the effort with awareness. That alone makes this moment profound, because it shifts the dynamic from one of reactive exchange to one of conscious presence. The courage behind the effort is palpable. It is not loud, flashy, or dramatic, it is quiet, patient, and intentional. Your soulmate has confronted their own choices, reflected on the ways they may have impacted you, and chosen to communicate in a manner that honors both your presence and their growth. That is not a small task. To meet someone in truth, without expectation, and with deliberate care, requires self-awareness, humility, and a willingness to face vulnerability. And you, in turn, bring your own presence, discernment, and emotional clarity to receive it authentically. There is a subtle rhythm to how the message unfolds. Pauses are deliberate, phrasing is measured, tone is considered. It is as if each word was placed not only for clarity but for resonance, designed to align with your capacity to perceive intention, effort, and authenticity. That alignment is rare. Many words are spoken in haste, many efforts are made without awareness, and many attempts at connection are marred by expectation. This is not one of them. You recognize that the message was shaped with consciousness, reflection, and a profound respect for your awareness. Your own awareness begins to deepen as you continue to engage. You notice how your body responds, a softening in your chest, a subtle shift in your posture, the gentle rise and fall of breath as understanding seeps in. There is recognition, not of old pain, not of longing, but of authenticity and intention. You witness courage meeting courage, effort meeting awareness, and vulnerability meeting discernment. In that observation, something profound begins to unfold. A meeting of consciousness that transcends ordinary words. The message also carries accountability. It acknowledges past absence, it reflects on choices, and it admits impact. But it is not burdened with guilt, shame, or demands. Instead, it offers clarity, presence, and intentionality. Your soulmate is not seeking to control your response, nor are they attempting to rewrite history. They are communicating from a space of alignment. Trusting that you can witness, absorb, and understand the message on its own terms. That trust is itself a reflection of the care, awareness, and authenticity that has shaped this exchange. As you receive the message, subtle layers begin to unfold. You notice the delicate balance between effort and space, between acknowledgement and freedom, between intention and timing. It is clear that the message is designed not to provoke or compel but to illuminate, align, and invite reflection. You feel your own growth mirrored back to you, your patience, your discernment, your capacity to witness without reaction, and your ability to engage with clarity and presence. That mirroring is transformative because it shows not only what has been offered but also what you have cultivated. There is a quiet resonance in your chest, a recognition of connection that is not defined by attachment, longing, or obligation, but by presence, awareness, and the meeting of conscious intention. The message is not simply words, it is energy, effort, and reflection, conveyed in a way that allows you to absorb, reflect, and integrate without pressure. It is as if the universe has orchestrated the perfect moment, where timing, readiness, and authenticity intersect. And as the message continues to settle, you notice the subtle shifts within yourself. Past absences and unspoken moments soften, not erased, not excused, but acknowledged with awareness. You feel steadiness, quiet confidence, and clarity. The energy between you and your soulmate changes imperceptibly, yet profoundly. What once carried uncertainty now resonates with intention and presence. What once felt unresolved now carries reflection and alignment. You realize that this moment is not about closure or reaction, it is about awareness, acknowledgement, and conscious engagement. You may sense that the message is about more than them, it is about you. It asks you to meet their effort without projection, to receive authenticity without expectation, and to honor presence without rushing. It calls forth your capacity to hold space, witness courage, and participate in the resonance of intentional communication. That is the rare quality that elevates this exchange beyond simple words into a profound encounter of hearts and minds. By the end of this moment, you feel the subtle clarity of understanding. You realize that their message was never meant just to communicate, it was meant to awaken, illuminate, and align. It was delivered at the precise time when your awareness, growth, and readiness could fully perceive it. You recognize the courage, reflection, and intention behind it, and you honor it with your own presence, discernment, and conscious reception. In this intersection lies a profound truth. What is authentic, deliberate, and sincere will always be received fully by the heart that is ready, grounded, and present. And as that truth settles, you understand that the power of this message is not in its words alone. It is in timing, in effort, in alignment, and in the conscious meeting of hearts. It lingers long after it is read, long after the initial moment has passed, leaving behind a resonance that informs how you engage with connection, presence, and authenticity moving forward. You realize that in receiving it fully, you are participating in something rare, a deliberate, conscious, and profoundly human encounter, one that touches both hearts and leaves an imprint far beyond the words themselves. There's a moment in life when you feel the air shift around you, not with a gust or a tremor, but in the subtle, almost imperceptible weight of presence. It is the kind of awareness that doesn't announce itself with urgency, but quietly insists that you stop, even for just a breath, and notice. That is the threshold of a message meant for this exact point in your journey. One your soulmate has been shaping, refining, and sending with precision, knowing that your heart, mind, and spirit are finally aligned enough to receive it fully. This is not a casual note or a hurried gesture, it is a conscious act of connection, a bridge built from thoughtfulness, courage, and reflection, stretching across the spaces that distance, silence, and time have created. At first, it may feel like a ripple in your memory, a faint echo of the past that catches in the corners of your mind. Perhaps it is a fleeting recollection of a shared smile that once carried entire conversations within it, or a quiet gesture of theirs that resonated more deeply than any spoken word. You realize, slowly, that these recollections are not accidental. They are the unbroken threads of a bond that has endured, sometimes quietly, sometimes unseen, waiting for the moment when both awareness and readiness converge. The message is arriving now because the universe, in its subtle orchestration, has aligned circumstances, perception, and timing for this exact encounter. The message itself carries a distinct presence, it is deliberate, intentional, and suffused with courage. You sense immediately that every word has been considered, every pause has weight, and every nuance is layered with meaning. It is not performative, it is not seeking approval, and it is certainly not attempting to manipulate. Instead, it embodies authenticity, accountability, and the quiet, powerful act of offering vulnerability without expectation. Your soulmate is not demanding a reaction. They are inviting recognition, a conscious engagement with truth, and an acknowledgement of the effort it took to meet you here with honesty. As you engage, a tide of complex emotions rises. There is recognition, subtle anticipation, and a gentle swell of understanding that grows with each line. You are not rushed, you are not compelled to act, and you are not asked to forgive instantly. What you are called to do is witness. To be present, to absorb the energy, and to allow the reflection of intention to settle into your awareness. This is the quiet power of authentic communication. It does not coerce, it does not push, it simply meets you in your own capacity for presence, insight, and reflection. The courage embedded in this effort is almost tangible. It is not the kind of courage that is loud or dramatic, but the patient, deliberate, reflective courage that arises when someone confronts their own choices, acknowledges their impact, and decides to communicate without the need to control the outcome. That is no small act. To take responsibility for one's presence, to reach out with intention rather than impulse, to offer honesty without demanding a specific response, this is what makes the message resonate on a deeply human level. You feel it in the subtle pull on your heart, the quiet stirring in your awareness, and the gentle opening that occurs within you as you allow yourself to witness it fully. As the message unfolds, you notice the rhythm, the careful pacing, the way meaning is conveyed not just in words but in the spaces between them. Each pause, each carefully chosen phrase, is designed to create resonance and understanding, to allow reflection without distraction. You are being invited into a space where presence itself becomes a participant in the conversation, where the energy of authenticity is just as important as the words themselves. That is the hallmark of deliberate, conscious communication, the kind that reaches beyond mere sentences and lands in the deeper chambers of your awareness. Your own perception begins to deepen. You notice how your body responds. The slight easing of tension in your shoulders, the softening of your chest, the way your thoughts settle into clarity as understanding begins to form. Recognition emerges, not of longing or attachment, but of witnessing truth, acknowledging effort, and appreciating vulnerability. You sense that this is not about them needing to be validated, nor about repairing what may have been lost. It is about being present for something real, something intentional, and something that honors both of your journeys. The message carries accountability, not as a burden, but as an offering of awareness. Past absences, misunderstandings, and moments of silence are acknowledged, not to evoke guilt or shame, but to illuminate consciousness, demonstrate growth, and create a space where connection can be received authentically. You are asked to witness this, to reflect on it, and to understand it as an act of trust, trust that you are capable of perceiving intention without distortion, trust that you can hold presence without projection, and trust that the act of communication itself can be its own reward. As you continue, subtle layers of meaning emerge. You notice the interplay between acknowledgement and freedom, between intention and space, between vulnerability and respect. The message is not forcing resolution, demanding closure, or asking for immediate reconciliation. It is an invitation to experience connection in its most conscious form, a meeting of awareness that honors the past while remaining fully in the present. You recognize, with quiet clarity, that this is rare, this balance of effort and reflection, of courage and consideration, of timing and intention. You may begin to sense the softening of past tensions, the gentle dissolving of misperceptions that lingered unspoken for years. Absence and silence lose their sharp edges, not because they are forgotten, but because they are now being held consciously. Your awareness, your ability to witness, and your openness are transforming the message from simple words into a profound exchange of energy, insight, and alignment. This is where presence and reflection converge, creating a subtle but powerful shift in your perception of both yourself and your soulmate.
You notice how the message asks you to engage with your own growth as well. It is not just about their reflection, their accountability, or their courage. It is also about your ability to receive, perceive, and respond with clarity. It calls from the awareness, your patience, and your capacity of emotional maturity. It reminds you that connection is not slowly about gestures or words, but about the conscious meeting of heart and the mutual recognition, effort, and intentions. That recognition deepens the responses of every phrase, every pause, and every nose of the communication. The more you immerse yourself, the more you realize that timing is everything. This message did not arrive yesterday, last month, or last year. It arrived now because you are prepared, because your awareness can hold the complexity of reflection without being overwhelmed, and because your heart is ready to engage without projection. The universe, the energy behind this connection is overrated this moment to ensure the presence of understanding met fully. The alignment creates the rarest form of resonance, the kind of the lingers, the transform, and the anchors itself in the consciousness long after the word themselves has been absorbed. By the time you reach the final lines of the message, you feel a subtle but undeniable clarity. You understand that this was never about obligation, recognition, or even immediate closure. It was about intentions, reflections, and the careful, deliberate act of the presence. You are the left with the quiet understanding with authenticity does not rush. The effort does not demand reaction, and the true communication arrives at the precious moment when both hearts are aligned in awareness. You feel the weight of courage, the depth of reflection, and the resonance of effort in a way that leaving a lasting imprint of your consciousness. And the message settles within you. You recognize the profound lesson it carries: connection. When approached with a deliberate awareness, patience, and authenticity, transform the ordinary into extraordinary. The act of communication itself becomes scared not because of word alone, but because of the intention, timing, and care behind them. Your soulmate message is not simply a note or the statement, it is the living embodiment of the effort, reflection, and the courage delivered with the trust that you would meet in consciously and with presence. In the moment, as you breathe and absorb the resonance, you understand something essential. What is authentic, international, and deliberate will always find its way to unconsciousness. You are witnessing the culmination of reflection, courage, and effort, not as demand for action, not as a flip or validation, but as a sacred alignment between awareness, presence, and intentions. That is the profound gift of the message, and it will leave you with the lasting sense of clarity, trust, and the recognition that will linger far beyond the moment it was received. That's the year story end. I hope you enjoy the story. You enjoy. Comment to this video, like to this video, and subscribe to this channel. And if you ask more comment and ask more about this story, just ask by super thanks or super chat by this video.